Juneteenth, summer solstice, Pride Month, my birthday, your baby's birthday, Father's Day, of course. Happy life. It's summertime and it's getting hot. H-O-T. My father's always been more of a friend than a dad. That's because he was deployed a lot throughout my youth, making it very difficult for him to just jump in and out and set the rules. You know, it's not like I didn't have free reign for the full 6 months prior. So basically we were sidekicks and we never really took things too serious. I remember once when I was driving, or learning how to drive, he was pissing me off because he was giving some advice that was kind of like, I get it, you know. I accelerated our car so fast that he thinks we're gonna wreck. I mean, I was like, I'm just gonna slam it in the curb here. Then I slow down and we both laugh. Like, instead of freaking out on me, like a dad might do, we just kind of laugh it off. I mean, maybe it was a nervous laugh from him and he didn't want to test me again, but I'd like to think it's because we had that kind of chemistry where life is funny, ha, and he wasn't seriously afraid for his life continuously for the rest of that ride. But my dad is like this really cool dude. I always thought, man, he's kind of exactly like me, except, you know, he's been through some military shit, and he's got giant facial hair and gingivitis. Boom. That's my dad. If I had all those things, I would be him. He had some cool slogans, like, C's get degrees, and school's for fools. And he always says, oh, I love nothing better than a good Excel spreadsheet. My dad's awesome. I guess, what makes him awesome? I always thought, the most defining feature of my dad is his big old beard. And he had a mustache that seamlessly blended in with his nose hair. One time he cut his facial hair off, and this elderly neighbor accused my mom of cheating on him when she saw my dad and her together. That was probably the only time that his face didn't look like he was probably a chimpanzee. And I identified manliness with having an extensive amount of facial hair, which makes it no surprise that my baby's daddy resembles this chimpanzee. He only shaves it about once a quarter when I tell him it's getting too close to Duck Dynasty. And thank you, baby, for complying only when I ask, even though it's kind of obvious, you got food all up in it. Thank you for at least hearing me out. That quarterly reminder. Not all men are fortunate enough to sport a beard. And I'm not talking about men that just can't grow them. I'm referring to countries like Kazakhstan. Men with beards are being denied passports. The government's like, oh, no, you kind of look like a radical. We can't have that here, so keep your beard short, or you're not going to be able to travel freely because we don't want to look bad. And then there's also the Chinese people that have this negative connotation with having facial hair because, it looks like you're poor, and poor people, oh, so sad. You can't be poor. I'm just joking. You can be poor, but, there's a lot of pride happening. So acting poor by having a beard is not cool. There's this dude, his name's Suga. He's in the band BTS. They got a little Happy Meal, sporting some BTS stuff at McDonald's. Well, this guy didn't like his beard so much that he actually decided that he was going to get it lasered off. And that's one way to do it. I actually know a few guys that are doing this. It's hard to play the femme guy in a relationship if you have the facial hair. But what's wrong with being a man? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to tell them not to shave it, but it's like, dude, if I were a dude, I would keep it. So I recently went to this orientation for the job that I quit last month. They actually had this full spectacle on beards. They're like, this is exactly what your corporate beard can look like. If it's anything shorter, it's 5 o'clock shadow, we don't like it. If it's anything longer, you're Gandalf and you're gross. It's kind of like this very specific beard that you were allowed to have. Somebody's like, oh, what do I do, if I just want to get a beard? And they're like, you're going to have to go on vacation and hopefully grow that stuff. The max they'll allow you to have vacation at this company is 2 weeks in a row. So if you can't perform that beard in 2 weeks, yee. And we actually just got our mask mandate lifted, which is hilarious. So they don't even have that opportunity to hide it in a mask. I mean, they could, but it'd kind of be weird. Why are you still wearing the mask? You got the vax, man. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm trying to grow my beard. And I don't even know if it'd be loud because you'd still see that kind of stubble on the sides. You'd have to be wearing a really, really weird mask. And I don't even think they'd allow that kind of mask because they had like corporate specific masks that we all would wear them in unison and harmony, wear this same mask, no mask flare. I'm going to let you know that having a full beard is pretty much the essential thing to being that cool, rad dad. Have you ever seen anybody that's like cool dad that doesn't have a beard? Maybe. But have you ever seen a loser dad or nerdy dad that has a beard? Usually that's not the story, you know? You think about the nerds depicted in movies, and they're the ones that cannot grow the hair. You know, they're the ones that keep it clean. They wear the glasses. They've got a voice that's kind of like this, you know? Or maybe they just are overbearing. The cool dad, or the manly dad, has that facial hair. You know, if you're a woman or you're just, you know, you don't feel cool, I understand that you wouldn't want to sport a beard. For the rest of you that have thought, oh, a beard is a cool idea, I do have some tips for you. I actually, this is kind of personal, but I have a few beard-like consistency neck hairs. I pluck them maybe once every few months once I realize they've grown back. So maybe it applies to me, I'm not sure. You know, I could be a woman with a beard. But if you want a beard and you're not living in Kazakhstan, then you want to make sure that you're getting enough sleep when you try to grow that beard out. You know, the average sufficient amount of sleep for an adult is 8 hours. Many people are like, oh, I can't afford to sleep 8 hours. I'm busy. Well, you damn better should if you want a beard, dude. You know, you got to get those Z's because that's when your body grows stuff and it repairs itself. I mean, if you're thinking, oh, everything's falling apart, you have to make that time to sleep because that's when your body can do the work that you can't do while you're doing the other work that you're doing all day. You also want to keep your face clean and your body hydrated. You know, drink lots of water, moisturize, but not with a weird chemically moisturizers. You know, you can use a hyaluronic acid, you know, maybe a little coconut water, splash on the face. Because clogged pores, they actually slow your hair growth. You know, if you got that dry, nasty skin or dirt in your pores, you're giving it that extra resistance that hair has to poke through. And it's going to stall your ability to grow that hair out, especially if you're doing it on a 2-week vacation. You also could steam your face to give it that extra moisture, unclog, and exfoliate like a man. Or better yet, a woman. You know, just take that nice gritty charcoal scrub and rub it all over your face. Voila, you're a little cleaner. You could make a mask out of that weird gel that, you know, goes in Jell-O, which I guess it's called gelatin. You mix some of that and water, put that on your face, dry it up, boom, peel it off, removes the blackheads, the dirts, makes you feel nice and sleek. So those are some things you can do to unclog. But you never want to forget the importance of eating healthy. Where there's foods that contain this ingredient called biotin. It's supposed to have vitamin B7, and this ingredient promotes hair growth. Again, it's called biotin. You can find it in eggs, fish, meat, seeds, nuts, sweet potatoes, bananas. Pretty much any balanced diet should do the trick. And if you don't want to eat it, you could find some kind of moisturizer with biotin in it. You know, if I need something, I'm going to try to eat it. I'm going to get it straight from the source rather than applying some kind of topical. Because I'd rather it go from the inside out versus, you know, trying to absorb it. If you're going to get high, you know, don't put the THC on the skin. Eat it or smoke it. Bring it in. I am not doing drugs right now. I'm a parent that's breastfeeding, so that's not acceptable. In a nutshell, do all the healthy things, blah, 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 blah. Shave, you won't have a beard, or don't shave, and you will, with all those things that I just said above. Don't take your ability to grow a beard for granted. You know, there are people that have serious jobs in their life, and they're never going to be able to grow that beard. They might envy you, but they're working. They're doing things that make wearing a beard not a good idea, like being a firefighter. They got to put a mask on their face, and if that mask doesn't have a seal, you know, they're just not going to be able to firefight for too long because they're going to get some kind of nasty lung residue. They got to wear that protective equipment, so wearing that beard prevents them from doing so. If you are a firefighter, I'd like to let you know that you are still a man, even if you don't have that beard. You're still an epic daddy because you play with fire all day, and that's probably... Okay, you don't really play with fire all day. You're probably just hanging out in a firehouse, watching TV, because I've seen you maybe cooking chili with your firefighter brothers. But thank you so much. Thank you, Firefighter Jeff, for saving Muffin, who got stuck in the tree last week. I really appreciate that. Muffin says, meow, meow. Anyways, this concludes it. If you want to talk to me more about facial hair or see what a good beard consists of, I would be more than happy to do so. My email is brittnolanvo@gmail.com. I'm probably going to be changing that soon, because, fuck Google. But again, brittnolanvo@gmail.com. Talk to me about the beards.